Hello friends! අපි කොච්චර ඉංග්‍රීසි දැනගත්තත් අපි වචන හසුරවන්න දන්නේ නැත්තම්, ඉංග්‍රීසි භාවිතය දන්නේ නැත්තම් අපි fail. එහෙනම් අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි කටට සහ කනට හුරු කරගන්න ඕනේ. අන්න එහෙම අපි කනට මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වචන භාවිතය හුරු කරගන්න ඉංග්‍රීසි විතරක් තියෙන දේවල් වලට සවන් දෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා මම කලින් කියලා තියෙනවා. අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි චිත්‍රපටි බලනවා, ඉංග්‍රීසි ප්‍රවෘත්ති වලට සවන් දෙනවා, ඉංග්‍රීසි channels බලනවා, ඉංග්‍රීසි රේඩියෝ නාලිකා වලට සවන් දෙනවා. ඉතින් මම ඒකට උදව්වක් විදිහට ඔයාලට අද ඉඳන් අරන් එනවා ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් තියෙන ස්පීචස්. මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි කතාවලට සවන් දීමෙන් ඔයාගේ කන දැන්ක තේරුම් නැති වුණාට කමක් නැහැ. ඔයාගේ කන ඉංග්‍රීසියට හුරු කරව ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් එහෙනම් අපි වීඩියෝ එකට ගිහින් හොඳින් සවන් දෙමු.
My English Adventure. My name is Zara, and this is the story of how learning English changed my life in ways I could have never imagined. It's a story of mistakes, laughter, new friendships, and the courage to step outside my comfort zone. It all started when I was in 6th grade. Our school announced that we would have a new English teacher from England. His name was Mr. Carter, and everyone was curious to meet him. I had always thought of English as a difficult subject. The grammar rules were confusing, and I was too shy to speak in class. I could understand a little when I listened to English songs or watched movies, but I never had the courage to speak a sentence aloud. When Mr. Carter entered our classroom for the first time, he greeted us with a big smile and said, "Good morning, everyone," in his cheerful British accent. Some of my classmates quickly responded, but I just sat quietly, afraid to make a mistake. Mr. Carter was kind and patient. He didn't mind our mistakes and encouraged us to try. Hey, he introduced a new rule in class: only English from now on. At first, it was terrifying. How could I express myself without using my mother tongue? I remember my first attempt vividly. It was during a simple introduction activity. "Stand up, please, and tell me your name and your favorite color," Mr. Carter said. When it was my turn, my heart raced. My palms were sweaty. I slowly stood up and managed to say, "My name is Zara. My favorite color is blue." It was a simple sentence, but for me, it felt like climbing a mountain. Mr. Carter clapped his hands and said, "Excellent, Zara," and the whole class clapped with him. That tiny moment gave me a boost of confidence I never expected. Day by day, Mr. Carter made learning English fun. We played word games, sang songs, and acted out short plays. One of my favorite activities was the word treasure hunt, where we had to find objects in the school whose names started with certain letters. I still remember running around looking for something that started with P and finding a pencil. Soon, Mr. Carter introduced us to story writing. We were asked to write a short story in English and read it in front of the class. I was nervous but excited. I decided to write about a magical forest where animals could talk. It was a simple story, filled with mistakes, but I put my heart into it. When I read it aloud, my classmates smiled and laughed at the funny parts, and Mr. Carter told me he loved my imagination. After that, I started practicing English outside of school. I borrowed storybooks from the library, watched English cartoons, and listened to English songs. I even started keeping a diary where I would write a few lines in English every night. It wasn't perfect, but I was learning. The real test of my English adventure came when our school announced an English speaking contest. Mr. Carter encouraged me to participate. At first, I said no. "I can't do it, sir," I told him, but he smiled and said, "You've already done it, Zara. Every time you speak in class, every story you write, that's you doing it. You're braver than you think." His words stayed with me. After days of hesitation, I finally agreed. I chose to speak about the importance of kindness. I practiced every day in front of the mirror, in front of my little sister, and even in front of my cat. The day of the contest arrived. I could hear my heart pounding in my ears as I stepped onto the stage. The microphone felt cold in my hand. I looked at the audience, saw my classmates, Mr. Carter, and my parents sitting in the front row. I took a deep breath and began. At first, my voice trembled. I stumbled over a few words, but I didn't stop. I remembered Mr. Carter's words and kept going. As I spoke about how a small act of kindness can make someone's day, I saw people nodding and smiling. By the time I finished, my hands were no longer shaking. When they announced the winners, I didn't expect to hear my name, but to my surprise, I won third place. It wasn't first, but for me, it felt like winning a gold medal. Mr. Carter shook my hand and said, "I'm proud of you, Zara." That day, something inside me changed. English was no longer a scary subject. It became a part of my life, a language that opened doors to new books, new songs, new friends, and new dreams. I realized that learning a language isn't about being perfect. It's about trying, making mistakes, and enjoying the adventure. I dream of traveling to London someday, visiting famous places I've only read about, and maybe even meeting people like Mr. Carter who believe in the power of words and kindness. And so my adventure continues. One word, one story, one smile at a time.